Are you looking for a podcast where you can hear from real people regarding their real dental drama? If so, then you've come to the right place. Join hosts Bethany Petty and Dr. Rena Kuba as we dive into the solutions we've created and the mistakes we've made while managing dental drama. Let's get started.
Amanda, welcome back.
Hey, how are you?
We were just talking. It's been like 3 years.
I know.
Since you've been on the
Too
show.
long.
Too long. What's wrong with me? Why don't I bring the mic every time I come home? So, just so listeners know, Amanda is my sister-in-law. For how many years now have we been linked together?
Oh, goodness. Well, Brent and I got married in 2009. So...
Gosh. A long time.
A long time.
We've put up with this family for far too long.
I love it. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Oh my goodness. So Amanda and I go back all the way to 2009, but you didn't join Dad's practice until, what year did you come on board?
I was actually working for him before we got married, so I think I started with him in 2007.
Okay. Because I left Dad's practice. For listeners, I worked with Dad's practice until, I think it was right before you came on.
Yes.
I spun off and you came in and took over.
Swooped in.
And just said, I got
reaped
this.
the benefits of everything you had already had in place.
Shoot, girl, no. You came in and did your thing. So, but before that, you were in legal, right?
Yes, I worked for a couple of lawyers in Little Rock. One was a defense attorney, and one was just did divorces and family law, things like that. So,
and then you said, "Let's do dental."
Yeah, why not? Total, complete change of scenery.
And then fast forward, and you're still in it.
Yes,
still managing, still getting to work with my dad every day, your father-in-law.
Yes.
And, which that's a whole dynamic that we've never even talked about.
But such a blessing, too.
I know.
I love it.
You get to be with him every day. That's pretty good.
And still learning something new every day.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I told you this after we dropped Amanda's first episode in, I think it was January of 2023. We were just remembering that we recorded on your birthday.
Yes.
Because that's the kind of sister-in-law I am. Like, hey, can you talk dentistry on your birthday? And then dropped it in January of 2023. And it was immediately like one of our top episodes.
Oh,
because
I love
people
that.
wanted to hear from a manager. And then I had one of the managers that I was working with at the time. She was like, can you please have Amanda back? And then, look at me. Here we are.
You're like, yes, in a few years.
But I do have a really hard topic for you today.
Okay.
So, Dr. Kuba and I have been talking a lot about how practice owners, managers, like, they can't do it all on their own. Like, they have to be able to delegate out. But then half the problem is you delegate out, and then how can you ensure that what you've delegated out is getting done? You know, is it just as hard to follow up and correct people or hold people accountable? And so I thought about you today, and I'm like, this is a perfect topic for you, because as a manager, you can't do every job in the practice.
No, you can't.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You got to be able to pass stuff off. And so I wanted to get your strategy from a manager's perspective on first of all, how do you decide what to delegate? How do you pick who to delegate to? Do you base that on talent? Base that on just like, this is your job description, you got to do it. So tell me a little bit about how you go through that process.
Right. So I feel like a huge thanks to you. Whenever I entered the practice, we had like owners, like the insurance coordinator and the finance coordinator and things like that. So really, like, you had this niche topic in dentistry that was your sole focus. Yes, you need to know how to do everything, but this is going to be what you do day in and day out. You're going to be the expert of this topic. So, like, with, I think, proper training, first and foremost. Well, back that up a little bit, finding the right fit in somebody, because the old cliche, good help is hard to find, is very true and accurate.
Yes.
However, if you can find that person and they're hungry and they want to learn, and somebody with dental background is a plus, but not necessary all the time, because you can train that if you have the patience and, the time, right? Because you don't learn it overnight. So, like my insurance coordinator, she is going to enter all of those insurance plans, make sure that we have the correct fee schedule. She's going to ensure that my treatment coordinator can present an accurate-ish enough treatment plan, because, right, it's just an estimate. But we do try our best to get those accurate numbers for patients, because nobody likes surprises, especially financial surprises. So that being, number one, just having somebody that can own
it. Yeah.
Own that. And just having everybody in your practice have that business owner mindset where they want to do it correctly. But I think also in the beginning, and even now, like, people still mess up. You have to have a little bit of leeway and, just say, you know what, that's okay. And everything can usually be fixed as long as it's not like a huge HIPAA violation or something like that. Then that's a whole nother podcast. But
you're like, that can't be fixed.
Yeah, that might be an issue. But yeah, so just, I think having patience and
Training.
Just understanding, and having your people know also that you're going to have their back. And even whenever you do have to correct them, just them knowing what your intentions are and that you care about them growing in their position, and that it's not necessarily a bad thing, and we can overcome this. It's not, like I said,
it's not life or death.
Exactly. It's nothing that can't be fixed, and hopefully they learn from it the first time, and it's not a mistake that keeps being repeated, because then again, that's another podcast too.
You're like HIPAA and people that don't correct their mistakes. We'll talk about that differently. So then, have you had somebody in the past where you're like, okay, I need her to fill this role, this is going to be her specialty, and at some point did you realize she's not getting it? Like, I don't know that I can be patient long enough for her to get it. And can you tell, if you've had that, can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. So everybody's different, but in my practice, I typically don't mind to hire people with no dental background, because I feel like it's hard to untrain some things that have already been learned. So if I can train them up from the beginning, then it could be more beneficial to me. Now, the struggle with learning dentistry is there tenfold with that aspect of it. But I always have the rule of thumb that I give them a year to learn dentistry. Yeah. And I feel like that's fair. I look back whenever I first started, I'd had no dental background. And I asked some of my coworkers at the time, like, whenever we hire new people, I'm like, did it take me this long to learn it? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay, good. I just got to have this, like, reference, to see what I'm dealing with. Because, for instance, we had an insurance coordinator retiring out of the practice. And so I thought, you know what? It would be really good. We had a heads up. We knew that we were transitioning this role. And we hired somebody to train with her until she was ready to step out of her role and fully retire. And she kept saying, Amanda, I just don't think she's going to get it. I just don't think she's got it. And this was even 6 months into her training.
Wow.
I said, you know what? I really like her. She's got a good attitude. She's got a good work ethic. I'm going to keep her, and I'm going to give her a shot still. Fast forward, this team member retires, and we transition the new hire into her role full time with no help, nobody to fall back on and say, hey, she is so valuable to me. Yeah. Like, she is one of my go-to people now, and I'm so glad that I gave her a shot, and I just stuck it out, because you can make those decisions earlier on and say, you know what, I've got to cut ties. But I think that deep down if somebody has a good work ethic and they're willing to learn new things and they can retain that, and you see that, and they're not continually making the same mistakes or asking, what did you say again? Or how do I do this again? The very next day after you just went over that, then I think that that's a telltale sign that you have somebody that you can work with,
You've got potential.
Yeah. And so that's, I don't know if I
think that's a
answered your
great
question
example.
there,
And I'm glad you said the timeline too, though, because I do think a lot of people give up too early on team members. Even if they've got prior dental background, it's like we want them up and ready to go by 6 weeks in. And that's really hard, especially if you're undoing dentistry from some other office. Yeah. It's like you need 6 weeks just to undo, and then to have a good solid, up to a year where you're like, okay, I'm willing to give this person a chance, unless that work ethic's not there, or a poor attitude or something like that would shorten that timeline. But I think we're not patient enough to really let people
And I struggle with that too. I struggle with patience, and I get frustrated. But I think, just stepping out and just taking a deep breath and saying, you know what, I was there once too. Yeah. You've been through this before. Just have a conversation with that team member and check in with them. It doesn't have to be a 6-month review or a year review. Yeah. Just check in with them and say, hey, how do you feel like this is going? Mm-hmm. What do you need from me? Yeah. To be able to do your role better, because and they might bring to you some things that you've noticed and that you were really wanting to talk about. Yeah. But it comes, from them instead. And so I think that part of that is just them being aware, you being aware, keep your doctor informed. Yeah. Communication is so key in every aspect. I think that everybody just needs to know what's going on, and you have to have communication between doctor and team member. And if there's any other, leader, if you're going to be out as a practice manager that can take on that role and kind of help lead the other people while you're out, then just communicate. Yeah. And just let everybody know what's going on. I have a very open door policy. Yeah. I don't have an office in my office. So whenever you need to come talk to me, come talk to me. If you need to come talk to me in private, we can go somewhere private. But then, I'm going to ask you, can I share this with other people? Because we all learn from each other. So, yeah.
I think you also make a good point, though, with the design of Dad's office was there really was not ever a private office in there. Well, Dad had one for a little bit, which got taken away.
Yeah. But we needed more ops.
Yeah. Just such a good thing, which means he lost his office. But there was never a quote-unquote manager's office. Right. And I do think that's part of you being able to stay in touch with your team, because you're right there in the line of fire all over that office, wherever you're needed.
Absolutely, 100%. I would very much so encourage managers not to have an office. I know that sounds crazy, because you feel like, I have to, get these reports done and this and that. It's doable. It's still doable. But being in the mix, like you said, and knowing and hearing everything, hearing conversations between patients, being able to step up and go to the back. I'll still go to the back and I'll turn over rooms. I'll run instruments, and things like. And I think that also builds trust with your team, and they know that you're going to be there to help them out. Whereas if you are in an office and, maybe you have the door closed, you're not going to know when your team needs you. You're not going to be able to overhear those conversations and be able to coach on that. Like if a patient was upset at the front desk, maybe you need to intervene, or maybe it's something where you can just listen in and then coach on that after the patient leaves and say, how do you think that went? What could you have done better? Do you want some feedback? And just say, well, I have some ideas, and maybe this is what we could do next time, or something like that.
But you wouldn't get that opportunity, to your point, if you're tucked away or not overhearing that.
Right.
And I think that actually ties into delegation as well, because if you're asking a team member to take on a task for you, they know you're not tucked away in this office doing who knows what. You're out with them all over the practice. You're one of them, so that when you pass something off or when you give that feedback, it's coming across not from this high and mighty place of she's in our office, what does she know? But like, she's one of us. She's with us.
And I'm not above doing anything that I would ask them to do.
Right.
Either.
Yeah.
So like if I have, I don't know, extra checks to post or something like that I'm just like really overwhelmed with something, or like I said, I'm out of the office, I know that I have a couple of team members, a couple business assistants that I can say, hey, while I'm out, I need you to do this, or we have there's 5 treatment plans being called for right now. I'll go do one. Can you go do one? Another team member can do another one, just so that they're not waiting on the one person that does treatment plans, because there's only one person that can do treatment plans or something like that. But also, I can remember whenever I was the only one that did treatment plans. And, although it worked, but it didn't work,
It was still stressful.
Yes, it was stressful. Patients were waiting, and then doctor starts running behind or something like that just because they're waiting or we're converting treatment, which is also not a bad thing. It's a good thing to convert treatment and say yes same day, but sometimes it can cause what's the word I'm looking for? Like
a frenzy.
A frenzy. Yes, everybody's running around like, how are we going to take care of this patient? Oh, are we going to run behind now? But it's just all hands on deck all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm so fortunate in my office too that I don't really have any team members where if I ask them to do something that they would either one, not know how to do it, or one, say, no, I'm too busy, or that's not my job.
Right.
Because everybody knows in my office that not my job, those are the no words.
Yeah.
Like you do not say that is not my job, because then we're going to have a really serious closed door conversation. Because it's everybody's job.
Yes.
We're all a team, and we're all here to take care of each other. I know it sounds like crazy, but like we all love each other.
Yeah.
And we're going to take care of each other, and we're going to help each other out.
Yeah. And setting that expectation early and knowing there's a severe consequence if you act like something is not your job, or heaven forbid say that's not your job. Like that doesn't fit with our culture.
Exactly. Here. Yeah. No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So.
And that again goes to making it easier to delegate, because it's like, you might give somebody a task and you might take a task too, because again, y'all are all helping each other out.
Absolutely. It's whoever has that downtime that can say, hey, I've got this.
Yeah.
Or we have hygienists that go over and numb for doctor if he's running behind. I have dental assistants that will come to the front whenever there's 2 or 3 girls going to run and do treatment plans to help answer phones.
Yeah.
Because they know that we're in with their patients right now. Yeah. So they're going to come up to the front. And I can remember whenever I first started, there was such a front versus back culture.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that is not the case anymore. It is completely gone. And I love it, because it was always like, well, we do this and this and this, and we're so busy. And, and then it was like, the front would be like, well, you have no idea what we do up here and what we're dealing with patients. And I'm just like, you know what? Everybody deals with everything. Like, it's okay. We all have our struggles. And it's not like we're dealing with more than you're dealing with. Like, let's just help each other out.
Yeah. Yeah. We're all in it together. And I honestly think that sometimes the frenzied moments forces that to happen.
Yes.
Where it's like, we don't have time to think in that frenzy of activity of, is this my job or is this her job? It's just like, we got to get through this next hour.
We got to get it done, and we have to take care of this patient, because the patient is the number one focus.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
which again breaks down those walls of like, no, we're literally all in this together. And I think you make a good point too. If a business team member has stepped in with that patient, then in theory, that RDA has a moment. If they're in there talking, if our business team member is talking for a couple minutes over that treatment plan, then that RDA has a couple minutes. Why not swap places? Do you remember the old show, Wife Swap?
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, let's just wife swap. Even if it's for 2 or 3 minutes here and there, it's like, live a moment in the other person's shoes, and then you have a perspective that's super helpful.
Well, one of the very, very first things I learned in dentistry, thanks to your dad, my doctor, was there is always something to do.
Yeah.
Learned that very fast. Yeah. And you know what? He is not wrong. So, and I have kept that mentality for the last 18 years.
What is downtime? There's no such thing as downtime. If you've got downtime, something's wrong with you.
Right? It's like you are not doing something that is supposed to be done right now if you have downtime.
It is so true, yeah. He lives life and work that way, doesn't he?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
And it's the same on and off the field.
And that's what I was going to say, too, about those, like, frenzied moments. It's like some people thrive in those moments, too, you know? And it's like, I can think, like, with my mom and just, I don't know if it's hereditary or if it's a learned behavior, but it's like whenever things get crazy, it's like you focus in, you are honed in, and you are ready to take care of business, you know? Yes. You are going to get it done, and you're going to be timely, and everybody's going to be happy, and it's going to be correct.
It's so true.
Oh, goodness.
Sometimes if it's too slow, too planned, even though internally we may want that control to just have this smooth, even keeled, but sometimes we function our best when it's like, no, it's go time. Yeah. Let's do this.
And I would much rather have that too, because it just makes the day go by so much faster. And if you're just slow and you're like, you know, nobody really wants to have to call patients to come in for treatment. You know, that's like the most boring part of the job. Be like, you want to like be taking care of patients that are in the office right now and like have them scheduled back. So just following all the processes also to have patients come back and keep their scheduled appointments.
Yes. Yes.
So
keep it busy and then we're all functioning.
Exactly. Everybody's happy.
Yeah. Yes. Well, then on that note, how then do you get to, because I know y'all run an incredibly busy practice, so how do you get to then, quote unquote, your tasks, your management tasks, if every day is pretty much pumping and going, how do you find space?
Oh, goodness. Well, there's no set schedule.
Yeah.
Like you fit it in where you can get it in, you know?
Yeah.
Because, you know, from the jump, the schedule that you start out with in the morning is not going to be what you end with. And so I think just having that flexibility and willingness to just go with the flow type of thing, and just to know that it's going to get done. You're going to get it done. And worst case scenario, if I'm on a time crunch and I've got a due date and I have to get some things done and we're just slammed, I know that I can tell my team, hey, I have to get this submitted. I have to get this report in. I have to, you know, get this report to an insurance company or my manager or whatever. They're going to be understanding, and they're going to be like, you know what, we've got this. You get that done, and because they know that it's important too. Yeah. So I think I'm just really blessed. Yeah. With a good team. Yeah. Like they are literally like my family. Yeah. They're my work family. Yeah. And we all get along, and like, I don't know, like a couple weekends ago, we all went out on the boat, you know, like it's just, we work together, but we still hang out together outside of work too.
Yeah, that good working relationship where it's like, okay, we really do genuinely like each other. Yes. And enjoy each other.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then you're willing to do things for people that you like and enjoy.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't annoy me if she asks for help because I like her and I want to help her out.
That is such a good point because I have had the opposite of that before, and I know the feeling of you just don't want to do anything nice for a person because you just don't like them, and that's not a good feeling.
No.
So I think just, you know, like I said in the beginning, just hiring the right people, making sure that they know what your culture is like from the interview process. Yeah. And saying, like, is this going to be something that you can live with, that you can work with? You know, like getting to know somebody. It's hard to get to know somebody in 30 minutes.
I know.
You know? But that's what you're working with.
Yeah.
To make a hiring decision. So it's hard. It doesn't always work out, but when it does, it's really great. It's
really nice. And it leads to, again, good team atmosphere, like shared workload. But I do think, too, like hiring is part of it, like bringing the right people on, making sure you talk about your culture early on, lead out in that culture. But also, I think you, in particular, fostering that environment that you want. Like, it's not just you it's talking about culture, it's you trying to live out that culture, too, that then tells people, like, oh, no, she means what she says, and is
yeah,
living
absolutely. So, like, you know, we're in an office with a bunch of girls. There's, like, 12 of us. Which I know isn't huge. There's a lot larger practices out there, but I think everybody knows I don't do mean girl vibes.
Yeah.
So anytime that I would even remotely hear a whisper of something, I'm going to shut it down.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that, too, my team knows that if they have a problem, first and foremost, I've really encouraged people to work it out amongst themselves before they come to me. I don't want to be a mediator, but I will if I have to.
Yeah.
But also, everybody knows that we have the best intentions for each other.
Yeah.
So if you guys have an issue with each other, try to work it out amongst yourselves first.
Yeah.
And if you can't, come and get me, and then we'll really dive into what's going on, because there's something larger at play.
Yeah.
Probably.
If y'all can't figure it out on your own, then it's...
So, and you know, in the beginning, ask permission. Like, do I have your permission to be honest and upfront with you? Can I come to you if I have a problem with something that you've done, or can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Open that door for them. That way they know, oh, maybe something big is coming, and they can kind of be mentally prepared for that. Because I have had people be defensive before.
Yeah.
But again, not to harp on this too bad, but as long as they know where you're coming from, I think that it lands a lot softer.
Yeah.
So, because I can be a little direct sometimes and a little brass, but I think that hopefully my team knows that deep down I love them.
Yeah.
I want what's best for them.
Yeah.
And if it's not going to be a good fit anymore, then you know what? We might part ways, but I'm still going to want what's best for you.
Right.
So if you ever need anything in the future, I'm still here for you.
Yeah.
And things like that. Just fostering that relationship and that culture.
Yeah, I think that foundation is really important, because then, like you said, that covers kind of a multitude of miscommunications or anything, as long as people understand the intention is care.
And miscommunications happen.
Yeah.
And just ask for clarity.
Yeah.
You know, again, that communication. Ask questions.
Right.
Get clarification if you need it. Or if maybe somebody did misunderstand what you meant, and so they're implementing something in a way that you didn't really intend for that to happen. Just correct it, you know, and just say, hey, you know, like, I'm sorry if I described that wrong, or there was something amiss in the communication that we, in the conversation we had, but this is what I wanted you to do. I noticed that it happened this way. Can we change it? Or whatever. I don't know what the circumstance would be, but
let's get
just
it back
correct
to the
it.
way that I intended it, and just doing it like you said. That's where it takes that directness to go, hey, I noticed this. I wanted it to be done this way. Like, can we get back to doing it this way? And I think just addressing it directly is the only way that you can. There's, like you said, the mean girl. There's no reason to complain about how it's being done wrong to anybody else. It's like, go straight to the source, correct it, and say, hey, it needs to be done this way.
Yeah, and I don't feel like that there's ever really like just one right way to do something. I was having a conversation with a group of people I was teaching a class for last week, and somebody said, well, if you want it done the right way, you've got to do it yourself. And I was like, you know what? I used to have that mentality, but I realized that there is more than one right way to do something, potentially. Now, that's very, like, you know, like, don't run with that, because, like, you have to submit insurances on certain claims. You have to, you know, like, there is one right way to do that. But I feel like also, like, if there's trial and error with things, if it's something new that you're trying to implement, have a little bit of grace. You know, see if something works out that way. And then if it doesn't, say, okay, well, we need to change it. So I don't always have the best ideas.
Right.
And I'm willing to admit that. So if I want something implemented and I ask somebody to do it a certain way and it's not done that way, but it still gets the same result or a better result, I'm going to say, well, you know what? Maybe that way is better.
Yeah.
And let's do it that way from now on, or something like that. So I don't think that it's my way or the highway, or that my word is the end all be all and I am just the dental goddess. And I have all of the knowledge and everything, and I know exactly how to do everything correctly. But I think that I'm willing and open to still learn every day, and I am still willing and open to have feedback from my team as well.
Yeah, which I think is important, because if you're in the place of really consistently having to give both positive feedback and, hey, can I give you a suggestion here? Can we try it differently? You've got to be just as much open to that same feedback for yourself.
Absolutely, because you know what? Your team has to be happy too. And if they're in misery with something that you're trying to implement because it's not working, they're the ones really truly implementing it with the patients. And so you need that feedback too. And then tweak it, change it, listen to them. You know, like nobody wants to work in misery every day.
Right.
So.
Right. And I like that perspective too, because I think that's one of the questions that Dr. Kuba asked me about delegating. She was like, well, what if it's not done in the way that I wanted it to be done? And I think you make a good point that sometimes before we just immediately go, don't do it that way, do it this way, to sit back and evaluate and go, okay, did it achieve the result that I wanted it to achieve? Or did it get better results? And if so, am I willing to consider that may be a better path? And the answer may still be no. It may still be like, no, it didn't get the results that I needed or wanted, and so I have to correct it now. But having that moment of pause to go, let me make sure that it's actually not a better way of doing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's a great suggestion as well. I had another question as you were sitting there talking about... you said in the class, you mentioned, that somebody had said, if you want anything done right, you've got to do it yourself.
Yeah.
And I totally get that mindset. And I know every manager out there can probably sympathize with a moment like that. But in addition to encouraging them to consider, like, hey, could there be a different way for it? I think also that mindset is going to lead to burnout.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes, because that, like I said, that used to be my mindset.
Yeah.
And then I had somebody come in and they were, training us, and she said to me, Amanda, if you don't delegate some task, you are just going to be worn out every single day. And my response was, well, if I want something done right, I've got to do it myself. And so, but I said, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
And I have to learn how to trust my team.
Yeah.
So that was something that I really had to overcome within myself. And I'm so glad that I did, because I'm so much happier now, because I really was going home just like every day like I was exhausted. Or I was completely stressed out about some events that happened. But you know what? Sometimes now, even if there's a disgruntled patient and they call on the phone, if I know that one of my team members answered it, I'm going to let them try to handle it first. Like, it doesn't always have to come directly to me. Now, if they haven't been able to resolve the situation or make the patient happy in the end and come to a conclusion that, makes everybody happy, then I'll say, go ahead and transfer it to me, or let me give them a call back or something like that. Right. But I think trust with your team is huge with delegating, because you just have to, let them do it and let them learn and let them make mistakes. Yeah. And then they're going to get it, and then they're going to become experts at it too. And then that's one thing completely off your plate. Just be like, you know what? You can just take that over indefinitely. Yeah. I don't have to just delegate it to you every now and then. Like, you know what? That's yours.
You did so good. You have it forever now.
Yeah. You did so good. That is yours.
I'm gonna release that
until forever.
Don't give it back.
Thank you very much.
It's true, but you would never get to that if you didn't try. And I think you've got to have that trust. And I think trust knowing that they're going to make mistakes in the process of taking that over. And as long as you're geared up for that, you're like, hey, mistakes are normal. That's how they're going to learn this task.
Yes.
Then you won't feel the urge to take it back.
Yes, and sometimes you might still feel the urge to take it back, refrain. Just coach. And encouraging words of affirmation, the love languages, just say, you know what, you've got this. I believe in you. You're like, don't let this one mistake discourage you. Try it again. Yeah. And just, I think you having faith in your team member gives them so much more just encouragement to say, you know what, I'm going to give it another shot. You know what, I can learn this. I can do this. And I can become the expert at it too. Yeah. So, because again, going back to my glory days, I was the treatment coordinator. I was the one that did all of the treatment plans. And now really my go-to girl, Melissa, she's the one that does all of the treatment plans, and she's the one that gets all the yeses and everything. And sometimes I'm like, you know what, let me do that treatment plan. I want to go back there. But yeah, it's just, and that's such a great feeling too, that you're like, man, I trained her.
I did that. Look at her go.
She did that too. Like, she wouldn't be there without like her commitment to her craft. Yeah. But and just really like her drive to get that patient to say yes too. Like, I think it's almost a challenge for her. Yeah. And being able to identify that too as a manager for the people that are more timid opposed to more competitive. Yeah. And knowing who you can delegate those tasks to. It's just really enjoyable to see it come to fruition.
Yeah, fruition. This full picture of like, hey, I saw that in her. I trained her in that. She started to take it over, and now look at her.
And now she's better than me. Now I got to go prove myself that I can still do that. No, just kidding.
Which is like, but that's a testament of, again, a good coach, somebody that's been pouring into that team member. So it's like you can still wear it proudly as yours, partly yours anyway.
Oh, that's so funny.
Like, I lit the match, and she just again, to me that's success, because for a manager you can't be the treatment coordinator, the insurance coordinator, the hygiene coordinator, the check-in, check-out coordinator. Like, you cannot do every role.
And the fact of the matter is, you have to grow your people.
Yeah.
And you're only going to grow them by delegating tasks to them and giving them an extra thing to handle. I wouldn't say delegate 20 tasks to them at once that they've never done before, and not everything is going to be brand new too that you have to delegate out. Yeah. Like, sometimes you can just be overwhelmed and you say, you know what, I know that this isn't something that you normally do. You've done it before. Do this again, or something like that. But like, once you train somebody on a certain task in the office and they get that, then it is a really good feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can be just as proud as they are.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, yes, that's such a... And people want to feel successful. They can't feel successful if we don't allow them to take on tasks and to try things. And so we do have to take a little bit of a leap of faith and go, I know they can do this.
And that, too, you have to keep in mind that your team members, they want to feel like they're needed. Mm-hmm. They want to feel like they're contributing to the office. They want to grow. Yeah. And if they don't want to grow, that's another conversation. That's a different podcast. I'm just kidding. But yeah, like, and it's really encouraging too whenever you have those team members also coming up to ask you after you've delegated something to them or one or two things, and they're saying, hey, do you have anything else that I can do for you? And then you're like, wow, okay, this is nice,
The hunger.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, here's this binder. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I love it. And I love that they're hungry and that they want to grow.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have that with all of my team members, which is, I'm fortunate for that as well.
Yeah. Well, and I think to your point, when they feel success and they're like, that felt good, and now I want more, and they're coming to you, like, we need to have additional things that we can pass to them.
Absolutely.
I remember a parenting book I read early on. It was this lady that was trying to raise, like, helpful kids, and she was like, well, how can kids learn to be helpful if every time they ask, hey, Mom, do you need help? You're like, no, I got this. No, I got this. No, I got this. And she made the point, she was like, as parents, like, it's so much easier for us to just cook the meal. And be done with it. And it's so much slower and harder to have your kids step in and help you with that meal. But that's how they learn to help. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's manager material right
Straight
there.
to the heart.
Yes.
Oh, yes, I know. So true in family life and in your work life.
Management, yeah, it's the same concept where if team members are coming and saying, hey, what can I do to help you? And you're like, nothing, I got it. Well, then they're going to stop asking to help eventually. And then also, they won't get the joy of that success of you being able to hand something to them.
Yeah.
So just always having things ready to be able to delegate, whether it's tiny or big. If they come to you, you're like, you know what? You're just the person, and I do have something that I really need help with today. It may not be a forever thing. It may just be something today, but then they get the joy of helping, which I think is really important. So.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, any other thoughts that you have on this subject matter?
Oh my gosh. I'm sure, but
I feel like it was a lot of really good, like, key things that I feel like I heard you say is, number one, trust. Delegation takes trust. And it also takes expecting that they're going to make mistakes. So you got to create a good path to be able to give them feedback when they make those mistakes, not if, but when. Encouraging them, like finding things that they're being successful in and verbally encouraging those. Looking for people that have the right work ethic, even if they're still making some mistakes as you try to train them on things. If they have the desire to do a really good job, if they're a really good work ethic and attitude, that goes a long way, and give them time.
100%.
And then also don't be a manager that closes yourself off, but be out among your people working and connected and having those open lines of communication, being willing to step in wherever you're needed as a manager, which then creates this collaborative feeling of them being able to step in too.
Yeah, be a servant leader.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just help out where it's needed, and then they're going to want to do the same for you.
Yeah, agreed. So many good tips. Why did it take me 3 years to get you back, Amanda?
I feel like I ramble sometimes, so if your listeners can follow along, just stick with it. It's good content.
I can guarantee you every manager and practice owner, for that matter, is taking notes right now. So I think these are fantastic tips. And again, you've been doing it a long time. You're still doing it. You're not burned out. Not that you don't have hard days, but so many managers burn themselves out for not delegating. So I would say, if nothing else, this is a really good reminder to all managers who are listening to take some advice from Amanda and figure this whole delegation thing out so that you can last longer in this challenging field.
Well, and you'll be happier too in the end.
Yeah.
You know? So, take some stress off of your plate, delegate it out, and then you're not going to, be...
fizzle out.
Yeah. Be so grumpy. I think that too, like, I can remember, sorry, I know we were ending the podcast, but I can remember, like, just being so stressed out that I would snap at my team members. Yeah. And I'm not really like that anymore, because I know that I have people that can help me, and they're capable, and they're willing, and they're trustworthy. Yeah. Last words of advice from Amanda.
If you're snapping at your team members, you're probably
overwhelmed.
Stressed.
Yeah, you're overwhelmed and stressed, and you need to delegate some tasks.
And if you don't know whether or not you're snapping at your team members, ask them. They may just tell you.
Correct.
Well, thank you for taking time out today to chat with me, and our listeners, I know they will appreciate it. It's good to have you back.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining the conversation today. We hope that you are comforted in knowing that you are not alone, but we also hope that you're walking away with some really great tips and tricks to try in your practice. We value your feedback, so please take a few moments to rate and review the podcast. Finally, we want to make sure that we're covering the topics that matter to you. So track us down on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and let us know what topics you want us to cover. As always, please know that we are rooting for you today as you manage your dental drama.